Hi from Heinz. I'm Ilosha.
I'm Jerry.
And today we're going to talk about very deep and very broad subject. It's a power of choice.
Yeehaw! Here we go. It's a very personal and important subject to both Ilosha and I because it affects us in some very awesome, cool ways that we'd like to share before the end of this video. So, one of the things that we both love is quantum physics.
That's right.
And we love how quantum physics just unlocks the universe. One of the ways that it unlocks the universe is in understanding that before you choose or before you observe, everything is a possibility. There is, as God says, with God all things are possible. When you look at it that way, what limits us? What causes us to determine what kind of choice we make?
Our beliefs.
Our beliefs. As Jesus says, whatsoever a man thinketh, so he is. So what does choice mean, Ilosha? I mean, how many choices do we really have?
Well, as we discovered through quantum physics, we actually have only two types of choices. Conditioned choice and a free choice. So what does it mean, conditioned choice? For example, if I come to you and say, hey, here's the strawberry ice cream and coconut sorbet, what would you choose? And you were thinking and saying, okay, I will choose strawberry ice cream. Do you think it's a free choice for you? And most of the people say, yes,
Yep.
I'm free to choose. I'm choosing the strawberry ice cream. Well, I have to tell you, this is not the free choice. Why? Because it's conditioned. Because you already have the understanding how it's gonna taste like. And maybe if you never tried this particular brand of the coconut sorbet, but you have the understanding how the coconut will taste like.
Right.
So basically, most of our choices are conditioned because we have experience of it, or somebody told us how it's gonna look like, or taste like, or feel like. So we have the idea. We have a basic understanding. And even Solomon says there is nothing new under the sun. So we pretty much know everything.
Well, that's really interesting, Ilosha, because I always like to think I have free choice. But you're right, I'm prejudiced. I have a prejudice, which means that everything is not a possibility. Because if I don't think, for example, that in my family it's okay to buy a Ford because we're a Chevy family, then the possibility of buying a Ford is removed. I'm not free to that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you all can see where there's many examples of whether you limit yourself. Baseball, fashion, even how a person looks.
Yeah, special, particular size of boobs, or butts, or how your face should look like. It's all conditioned based upon our culture, our beliefs, our trends, or whatever.
Right. And when you accept all of those into your consciousness, that eliminates freedom.
Okay, what is that freedom choice? How it's look like?
Well, freedom means you have to choose from something you have no point of reference.
You have no idea.
You don't know the outcome.
You don't know what to expect.
And God says, trust me, because I know my ways, he says, are not your ways. There's ways that seems right to a man, but the end is death. And I'll tell you, as you hear our story again, Ilosha and I have chosen many times from the conditioned choice of death. Not good, not healthy, and sadly, lots of pain and frustration as God peeled our onion.
Yeah, and how our relationship started based on conditioned choices because...
Big time conditioned choices.
Yes, because what world thinks? You have to have chemistry, sexual attraction, desire.
Yep.
So men should be a little bit older, but not so much. You should be taller, but not shorter. And
Yeah, there's all kinds of external behaviors that we have been told are important to make for a happy marriage.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, the statistics show that doesn't work.
Yeah.
So then what does that mean? How did we start our relationship to where, I mean, I don't know that we started any different than the rest of the world, except we had some unique situations that God brought us around to, which was...
Yeah. What was your story a little bit?
Yeah. Well, I started as a Christian. I started believing in Jesus, memorizing the Bible, going to church school, just being totally excited to follow Jesus. Then I kind of had a dark run of choices that produced a lot of sadness, a lot of discouragement, a lot of divorce, bankruptcy, loss of job, just a broken man who had given up and was just really kind of in despair.
And in the toilet.
And that's right. My life had gone into the toilet and I was just getting flushed. Now, that's how I met Ilosha.
Well, when we met, my life was kind of in the toilet as well. Even though I started differently, I was not a Christian. I was raised in a family who had no idea about God, who had no idea about relationship, how it should look like, how family should operate. There was very little love, very little respect. My father was very abusive and emotionally and physically, and it was a broken family. It was not healthy at all. And I found myself in my late 30s, I found myself in total despair, broken, emotionally, physically, spiritually, and absolutely just in the toilet.
And that's how we met.
Yes. And because of that, because we both were kind of in the toilet, we found ourselves needing each other just for survival, just to survive.
Right. But I asked Ilosha when we met that first time, and we met over tea, which is something that we both love. I wasn't a tea guy at the time, but if Ilosha was into tea, I was. So anyway, over tea, I asked her, how's it going? And Ilosha said 4 magic words. And I want to challenge each one of you out there, ask these same words. And they were?
Can we be honest?
Can we be honest? And it was so refreshing to me that I thought, wow, here's some freedom. Here's some total freedom to just be honest and not worry about the outcome. So that was the way we started. Honesty and tea and life in the toilet.
Yeah, here we go.
Here we go. Recipe for a lot of pain and suffering. Just to let you know.
Yeah, and even though we didn't start it from the Bible point of view, because I was just in so much despair and frustration that I needed somebody who can help me to just
navigate life.
Just navigate life and understand how to live, how to be in this world and what to do, because I didn't have job, I didn't have education, and I can go on and on and on. And Jerry just offered for me to move out from my ghetto apartment at that time and live with him. So, but here's the thing: even though we didn't start it right, but we made a conscious choice. We made a powerful choice to allow God to lead us and to shape our family, because none of us, we didn't have any understanding how the good family, godly family should look like.
No.
I didn't have any examples of that. Jerry didn't have any examples of that. We had no idea. We were totally blind, going, okay, God, we're gonna trust you. We're gonna be in a total faith. We just go after what you want for us.
And we knew that God created Adam and Eve to have a beautiful, awesome relationship. We didn't know how to get there, but we said to God, that's what we want. We want what we don't know how to get. And that is the power of free choice. Now, what we didn't realize is that this takes time. You know why it takes time? Because you got a lot of beliefs. I had a lot of beliefs. Limiting beliefs. That was, with God all things are possible, except, and then I would put in my exception.
Fill the blank.
I fill in the blank. And so we learned that very quickly, our limiting beliefs, I didn't really know how to love. And so God had to take me on a 2-year journey just to teach me how to open my heart to love Ilosha. And on Ilosha, on the other hand, well, we both had trust issues.
Yeah.
So we both had trust issues.
We both had tons of limiting beliefs, and so it was a 2-year journey of peeling the onion, peeling those unlimiting beliefs, peeling those blockages, and it was painful. You're peeling this onion and you cry, and it's painful. And it was journey. It was not like, oh, it was painful journey.
Right.
And we was kind of sandpapering each other through this journey to let this light come forth.
We had to give birth. We had to give birth to us.
Yes.
And Jesus knew that it was going to take a lot of time because we had a lot of caca in our lives that he had to remove.
Yeah, and it takes commitment. So, but we were so committed. We were so committed, even though in
Yeah, I know. It's amazing how committed we were.
Yeah.
Because we'd be so frustrated, we'd be ready to pull each other's hair out, and we'd get down on the floor and kneel and pray and say, Jesus, we're kind of at it right now, but please, please show us the way. Your will be done in our lives.
Yeah. Yes, and it takes time to peel that onion. Some of you may think that it will happen in the blink of an eye and this princess will come out from the frog immediately. No, unfortunately not. And in
That's right.
Yeah, in my experience, when we started to live together, I didn't see Jerry as a husband material at all. I just couldn't see that. I couldn't see myself being with this man for the long time. I couldn't see how it's gonna happen because I thought in my mind, oh, he's too old for me. He's too cocky. He's too proud of himself. I'm not attracted to him.
And those worldly views that we have conditioned ourselves.
We were conditioned, yes.
Sure.
And very often in my prayer time, I was so discouraged. I was angry with God. I was in anguish saying, God, why are you keeping me here? Why are you keeping me here? I don't want to be here. I don't want to be this man. I don't see that, how it's going to work. I just don't see that. And God kept saying, stay with Jerry. Stay with Jerry. Trust me. Stay with him. That another man, he's not good for you. He doesn't want you. He doesn't need you. Stay with Jerry. And I'm like, okay. Yeah, it was pretty intense.
It was. And I would go to God and go, wait a minute, God. This woman doesn't even want to be here, so why should I? And God clearly told me, I'm teaching you about love. I'm teaching you how to love. And you have to stay here and you have to be loving Ilosha unconditionally. You have to love her because I will take care of her loving you. Just be, as we've said before, be the man.
Be the man, be the man, and follow the Christ example.
Follow Jesus' example. And so, every time we come back around, committed to God's way, committed to that unknown.
Yeah.
As God would peel one more piece of our belief system, our stinking thinking away, we'd be that much closer to God's will in our life.
And with every peeling the onion, we were coming,
Yes, yes.
we were shaping each other and becoming more kind, more loving,
Yep.
more respectful, more
Ten,
attentive.
yeah, tender, and and our pastor called it last week intimate. In this covenant intimate, we didn't even realize really what was happening. I'm not sure, but we got a confirmation this last week at church.
Oh yeah, it was very good. We had a speaker in the church, and he was talking about family and relationship between adults and teenagers. And after he finished, he was selling his books. He's a writer, so we decided to buy one of his books. And when I came to him and he was signing the book, my daughter came to me and saying, "Mom, why are you buying this book?
Yeah.
You don't need a book. You're an awesome parent. I love you." And it was such a joy. It was
Yeah.
such an
Amen.
honor to hear
Yeah.
that, because my teenage girl, she's 15, and I didn't have a good relationship with her even 4 years ago. Now she's saying, "You're awesome parents. I love our family. I'm so blessed," and it's just amazing.
It is. So that is the power of choice. Choose from the unknown. Choose God's way, not your way, and He will bless you. And I got to say, we're having heaven on earth.
Well, thank you for listening.
Bye for now.